Valverde, that's a your fucking boy, John Donovan. And today, discussion, or fucking what if, as we fucking love it, is what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Fatal Error Sans? So to start it, what the fuck is Fatal Error Sans? Well, to be honest, it's kind of a mystery. Well, let's say it simply. Error tried to kill Geno Sans, and then he got Fatal Error, which is arguably stronger than him and Ink. Well, first, he doesn't have the weakness that both of them has. Like, Ink needs his brush that he created, and he can create again to face Error Sans in the anti-void, and Ink need and Error needs to be in the anti-void to be able to be comparable to Ink with his brush that he can create. And Fatal can easily kill Error, and Ink was watching on the sidelines. And if we know something, Ink would help if he can, and he didn't, so he couldn't, so he's arguably stronger than the two. What does he have? The normal Sans ability. He has glitch Gaster Blasters, which are way stronger than the normal Sans ones. He has telekinesis, and it isn't really telekinesis, it only can move souls. It's kinda like, I don't know, whatever. He also can manipulate bones. He has the blue bones which are glitched, and he also can make the whips like Error Sans, but they are made from determination, and he also can do a pretty good fucking ability. He can copy the code. He has the normal ability of the Sans, which are way stronger, and he also can copy code and have Error Sans abilities, but he doesn't need weapons or any special equipment or any special dimension to be strong. Damn, that's now the definition of Bill P. So let's start with how did the fuck he get there? Well, easy. Fatal Error blames Error for his creation, because if Error left him alone to be Geno, then he wouldn't have lost his sanity and become this glitched skeleton. So because of this, he was killing Error. He was trying to kill Error, which Error, how God knows how, somehow survive, even if Fatal Error was way stronger than him, and he had a very good he had the visible advantage. So how did that go? Well, when he was looking around, then he saw the soul of Papyrus. He said, "Papyrus, is that really you? Did I finally manage to copy your code? Did I finally manage to make you a perfect copy of your code?" Papyrus then said, "No, silly, you didn't." Fatal Error was not sad, and he said, "Oh well, then I will continue killing another Papyruses to get your code." Papyrus said, "No, silly, don't. Don't you see that you are hurting others like this? Don't forget it. I may not be with you, but your happiness will be with you." After these words, Papyrus disappeared, and actually, Fatal Error listened to these words. He said, "He is right, I don't need that. Since he also has the powers of Geno, who has determination, And of course that was very OP. He then looked around and he said, I know that I can copy codes, but if I can copy my code and get it into another universe in another shape and another form, then I can live like what Papyrus wanted me to be. He then copied his code, then he got it sent away into deep in space. The more the code was sent, the more it started forming physically. It started growing hands, growing a soul, and finally it grew a face. It was baby. It was a baby. It had wet hair. It had very attractive red eyes. No, one of his eyes are red and the other is blue. And it also had very not visible numbers on his body. If someone could see the codes, then they could see the numbers that he had on his body. And then he was on the doorstep of Minato and Kushina. Minato and Kushina already gave birth to one child, a girl called Naruto. One day, they heard something crash out of their door. They looked out and they saw this baby. It looked very beautiful and warming. But when Kushina wanted to pick it up, it then fired at her a whip. When the whip touched her, her finger disintegrated. And she then said, "Oh baby, don't be there like that." The baby fatal error then kinda listened to this, being reminded by Papyrus. So he copied the code of her other fingers and replaced it with her finger. And she said, "Oh, thank you." And after she picked it up and she looked at Minato with puppy eyes. And he said, "Kushina, he has parents." But she said, "But he's left there. If we couldn't find his parents, then can we keep him?" He looked at the baby. He couldn't deny it really looked cute and elegant and beautiful. And he said, "Fine, we will keep it." And also another thing I should mention, since Fatal Error is now in a human body, he now has limitless stamina, meaning that he could keep dodging and firing forever. And he also have infinite magic power. It isn't really showed that he has infinite stamina or infinite magic. So I will give him that. If it was showed later that he have, then it will just stay like this. So let's then continue with this. Minato should have grown the baby like it was their own. It was a very beautiful day of theirs. The baby was very beautiful, very elegant, and he was very beautiful to be exact. So because of this, both of them adopted him as their own. And suddenly, the Ninetales attack came. When the Ninetales attack came, for Fatal Error was reminded of Papyrus, since Kushina really acted kinda like him, hyperpathetic, idiot, and stuff, hyper-energetic, other stuff that he would act, getting Reaper being too sweet. She really looked like him a lot. And he fired a glitched whip at QB. It kept him at bay, and then he stretched his arms, and then he played with him across like a yo-yo, with a Minotaur sweat dropping at the shape where fatal error had. And he said, "What on the hell was Naruto doing? What on the hell was Naruto's parents?" But he shrugged it off and he said, "Alright, Naruto, I'm sorry, but we will have to die. I noticed that you can copy anything and then make it. That's very good, but don't copy us." He looked at him like he was some crazy idiot. Then Minato said, "I mean it, Naruto. Don't copy us. You don't want your sister to be living with a copy of the house." Naruto wanted to shout at him that it wasn't a copy, it was a code, meaning that the own code itself was being diagnosed, meaning that it wasn't a copy. But he couldn't. He was a baby. He couldn't do anything except use his powers. So because of that, Minato did the Reaper steal, and then he got 50% of Kurama and Naruto and 50% in Naruto. After this, young Kushina died from it, since she also held them, and the Reaper seal, since she didn't get penetrated by the QB claws this time. After this, Naruto said in his mind, "Fools. I could have helped them. I could have copied their code and made them happy again, made us a happy family again. But they are just fools." He then looked away, disappointed, with Hiruzen coming, and he looked at baby Naruto apologetically at both him and Naruto, and he said, "I'm sorry that you both had to go through this at such a young age. I'm sorry." Naruto didn't care. In his old life, he killed millions of timelines just to revive Papyrus. So two family members dying was nothing to him. He saw millions of genocide routes, and this wasn't new to him. So when Hiruzen saw the emotional state he was in, he said, "Don't give up on light that easily. Just keep on living. There's hope." Naruto wanted to shout at him that he's a fucking maniac. There's no hope for him. He has been lost, he has been tricked, he has been forced, he has been doing all kinds of horrible stuff for thousands of times, and he still didn't get hope. After this fatal error gas appeared, they said, "You still aren't the same, Fatal. You are only a kid. You will not succeed in the dream of perfectly copying Papyrus. You know why you can't perfectly copy him? It's because of me. I don't want you to perfectly copy him. I want you to stay and kill more and more timelines." Fatal error sent in his mind, "Screw you." You were always like this. I can't wait until you destroy the other next millions of timelines. Fatal then said, "Screw you, I'm not gonna do that. I'm a new man. I have a system now. And the only thing that I will do now is live in peace like what Papyrus wanted." In the ship or so he trained because he is fatal error, and if he wanted to live a normal life without killing the timelines, then he have to train himself to be able to control his power more. So he trained himself not only physically but also in his powers and mental. Normal Sans is already a very, very, very smart man. Gino is more of him since he saw more than him, and fatal errors are more than Gino because they are the same person but after a future timeline where he was corrupted and visited the timeline, unlike he was in the original Aftertale, stuck in the void in the save screen. So it increased, and also since he had his physical strength increased, he could increase it easily. Because Cross was simply a Sans who trained a lot with the help of Cross, Kara, and other factors, and he became strong, not only physically but in his power, far stronger than normal Sans. So, what a fucking good. Sense of that, sense of that, he was way stronger than normal humans and normal shinobis. Right now he could easily defeat Madara and Hashirama, since normal Sans could defeat and give a problem to someone who can destroy a timeline with one slash, aka Kara, a very hard time, meaning that he could easily defeat this too, but the major issue is teaming up. Original Sans can dodge, has immeasurable reaction speed, and he can dodge a lot of attacks. But his problem that he is lazy. He has low stamina, and his magic attacks cost a lot, because his magic attacks cost a lot. Okay, so that means that if he was to face an entire horde of shinobis, he could kill them, because his blasters are way faster than they could react. But it has a problem of durability, you see. Undertale isn't really about durability, since the max level in Undertale makes you only 99. When you begin you have 20 HP, which, to be honest, your attack damage can injure your level 20 player, but if you want to decrease that, then you have defense, which make it very harder to make damage. So it's really not about durability, it's about speed and attack and hacks. But if you conclude it as real, he's not infinite, because If he was infinite, he could have easily defeated Frisk with one attack. He is infinite in the world of the game. Like, okay, let me say, in the world of the game, everything changed. When you fall to the underground, you can use your soul power, which Frisk's soul is determination, and the monsters can use it on the underground and on the outside. The souls aren't as strong as humans, but the magic and physical stats are way stronger. So, they are. But the humans in the past of Undertale were very proficient magician, and they put a barrier that can not be destroyed unless you have a god like being in Undertale. To say Azrael is, it's not safe to say that he is completely infinite, but he has at least the closest thing to infinite. Of course, if we didn't include Sans in the game. So, with that, then let's start. Naruto would leave from beating shinobis because they respect him for that. I don't know why, but people respect him for beating up other shinobis. And someday, the villagers were coming to beat him up. But he easily beat them. And then, Fatal Error Vegasta said, let's make a deal. Fatal, I will give you part of my power if you promise to give me 100 soul. Fatal scoffed and he said, do you think I'm an idiot? If I give you 100 soul, then you would become a godly being. Did you not see what Azrael Dreamer? He was originally a tiny little fucking weak flower. He became after he absorbed the fucking 6 souls and all the monster souls. If he absorbed 7 souls, it would have been stronger than that. So I'm not an idiot to give you that. But then Gasta said, but you know that you are way stronger than Azrael. That still doesn't get my point out. You are way stronger than me already. And if I give you this, then you can easily tear out of the fatal void. Gasta said, you are smart like always, Fatal. I will someday find a way to make you give me 1,000,000 souls. Fatal said, on my dead cold chest, I won't give you 1,000,000 souls, even if that damn gosh girl get into this world again. After this, it was the first day of the academy. When he walked in, it was normal. There was Sasuke, there was Sakura, there was everyone normal. But then he and someone's eyes looked at each other instantly. He saw him and she saw her, and she saw him. He said in his mind, fuck you. Now you have done it, kid. While Frisk was saying, oh, Gino, what have Error done to you? And then after this, Naruto was thinking, what the fuck is she thinking about? She's thinking about Error, What have he done to me? If I meet that motherfucker again, I will rip his skull out. The author let him escape. The author of my original story let him escape. This time I won't let him escape. He then sat down close to Frisk, and he used his time and space manipulation to stop time, and he said, "So, here you are again, kid. So, tell me, don't you know that I will rip your fucking skull out? Because you know that we didn't have the best relationship, don't you?" Gee, after Tail Frisk remembered that. She remembered how many times she dodged his attacks, how many times he dodged her attack, how many times she killed him and he killed her. They were both equal in everything, but her determination was the thing that let her move on. Every time she kills him, he adapts to how she fights and makes himself stronger by it. And she said, "Listen, Gina, I'm very, very guilty about it." He said, "Guilty? Are you now guilty, kid? Look what have you fucking done. If I haven't done enough, you've done the rest. Good job, look at what you did. You made our entire timeline a void, and you couldn't reset that damn button again because you lost your ability. And now, look, Papyrus is dead, everyone is dead there, their souls are not even in heaven because you destroyed our entire fucking timeline. What do you feel now, kid?" "Shit, since we are the same age. I don't fucking give a crap, kid. You destroyed our entire fucking timeline. I know, I'm sorry. Sorry isn't gonna bring trillions and infinites of souls back." "I know that, Sans. Let's just get back to our new life." And he said, "I can't blame you, kid. I also killed millions of timelines. But unlike you, it was another version of me, another version of him, another version of everyone. I didn't spare anyone. I killed them all." He said, "Yeah, it's still as worse as me. I'm the one who made you like this." He said, alright. We won't talk about it, will we?" He said, "Okay." He then resumed time again, and after this cast started to them to explain themselves. They will explain themselves, even Naruto. Hardly Frisk happily doing that. After this, the academy goes by smoothly, and Naruto and Frisk actually started getting a butter bond, because both of them were the only people that know about timelines and everything. Because if they talked about that to any other person, that person would just think that they are retarded or crazy, or they just have a very wide imagination. But they both understood each other, being both saying sorry for the things to order. While Hinata was watching them with jealousy, Hinata still fucking saved Hahi, even though he did it with not so good intent, but she still saw that it had a little bit of good intent in it. So she still had a hard crush on him. And then Naruto came and she said, "Oh brother, do you have a crush on Frost?" And then he said in his mind, "How can I have a crush on her? Nah, she's not. The best I can say that she is a friend." Well, she said, same. Both of them saying, "Nah, nah, nah, hell nah, 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 hell nah." Marco said, "Alright, what do you two talk about that don't want to share anyone about?" Naruto said, "You wouldn't get it. We both know that. Think alone. And if we tell anyone else, they will think that we are crazy or stuff." And she said, "Naruto, I'm your sister, but I'm your bigger brother. So, go away." He said that very softly, more softly than Naruto would want. So she goes away without any other questions, with Chris going slowly. "I thought that he would be very good to her since he missed Papyrus." He said, "Well, yeah, I see her as him, but still, that's something I would do to not make her heartbroken. I mean, what would she think if she knows?" She said, "True." She was imagining themselves in their original form, with her being with her smiley determination red, his creepy eyes, and with him in his glitches covered with the dust of the blood of every other sound, of a lot of other senses. And she said, "Let's just forget about the past." And he said, just as pained, "Yeah, let's just forget about that damn shit." Well, in that shit was the time of him fighting Sasuke. Sasuke still thought of himself as the best in the class, because the Uchiha massacre happened all year. Well, Naruto was saying, "You're really cocky, aren't you?" And he said, "Bring it on, Naruto, I'm not afraid of you." Naruto then said, "Oh, really? But you will be." He then did something that Sasuke wouldn't expect. He copied Sasuke's own code, and he gave him his code without his arms and leg, but he couldn't bleed. He said, "What have you done?" Naruto then said, "Nothing, just changed your code." He then said, "What do you mean?" Naruto said, "Well, everything has a code. The code is simply a number of series number that can defy the existence and non-existence. If the code disappeared, then you and your very existence and everything about you would disappear." And then Sasuke said, "But that doesn't even make sense." Naruto then said, "Reality is pointless. The universe is a hologram and you are again supreme. Welcome one and all into reality." Sasuke nearly just sweat dropped at this. He didn't understand what he meant by this. But he said, "You really are weird, like they say." And he said, whatever." He then got his code back and flicked him away into Ruka, with the Ruka saying, "Naruto wins." After this, now Naruto comes back with everyone saying that he was very fucking OP. But him just say, nah, whatever. While squandering, he can copy the code. Can't he copy the code of our own timeline? He done almost like he had a said to her telepathically with him copying the code of telepathy. I can't for some reason. You know, there's someone called Fatal Error Gasta. That guy is not allowing me to copy the code of my world, of our world and Papyrus code. He wants me to kill millions of people, timelines, to gain millions of souls, to totally destroy any version of the void, to free him and every other version of him, to regain supreme. He said in her mind, oh, that's very sad. If it didn't happen, then we could have been in our world again happy. He said in his mind, sometimes happiness won't come to us like a bird. After this, he goes away. And then came that graduationism. Naruto passed very easily since he had chakra mixed with his powers, making him also being able to use chakra with his powers and stuff. With him going, he knows something very well about Sasuke. She grabbed him by the shoulder before any girl could reach him, and Sakura said, "Hey Naruto baka, leave Sasuke alone. Sasuke-kan alone. We want to talk to him." And then he said, "Shut the fuck up, useless shit, or I will make your code without chakra." Sakura was then afraid, since she didn't want to lose her chakra and make Ino laugh at her for being without chakra. And then she goes away with every other fangirl too. And then Sasuke said, "Thanks, I guess. But why are you pulling me?" Naruto then said, "Just don't question it, pal. You'll know later." When this happened, he pulled him into a place where there was no one, and he said, Listen. Listen. I noticed something very weird about you." "Why?" "First of all, let me ask you a personal question. Do you think that the worst person possible can change?" He then said, "Absolutely not." "Well then, do you think that vengeance will solve it?" "How do you know?" "I told you that your code tells me everything about you. Your power, your specific. I can copy it and give it to myself. I can copy it and give it into any other person. Because of that, I noticed that your code type for emotion is revenge. And it wasn't someone called Itachi or Chiha." Sasuke then said, "So whatever, you just pulled me here to tell me that I have vengeance?" Naruto then said, "Don't worry about it, I will handle it." Sasuke then said, "No, I will do it." But he was shut up by this by this error glitch sign getting from Naruto with the red determination glitch whips around him and with the world glitching, and he said, "Don't worry, my friend. If I saw your fucking brother, I will crush his skull and give my code and take his code to mine." Sasuke was afraid at this aura, and he said, "What do you want from that? You barely looked at anyone in the academy, and why now me?" He then returned to normal, and he said in a cheap job, "I don't know." Sasuke stood up, and he said, "Really? You always have a reason. You have a reason for everything. I remember that always that everything you said have the puzzle behind it. Since me solving a puzzle from what you said led me to learning a technique that was very forbidden and godly, and it didn't require chakra. So tell me, what is the meaning behind it?" Naruto was silent for a minute, and he said, "Fine, I will tell you. I noticed something weird about your code." Sasuke then flushed, and he said, "You mean?" Naruto then said, "Yes, your code said female, but you are clearly male. That's what everyone expects me saying. What I see is a female dressing in a seal that makes her look like a male, and voice like a male. It's simply a seal, a gender bender seal. How do I know that? Not only from the code. Your walk is girly, your talk is girly, your everything. You even go into girls' shop, and no one even questioned it before because they think that you only want clothes for your future wife. But that's not the case. It was clothes for you. You and only you. All the time you were hiding behind this mask, and you didn't even know that I know." She then stayed silent for a second, and she said, "Suki." "What?" "That's my name, Suki." "Okay, Suki. I'll... I will go away." And then she said, "Wait, you don't care?" He then said, "It's not my fucking problem. I won't tell anyone. I won't tell any fucking one about that. It's not my fucking problem. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if people think about you as a male and then know yet you're female. I don't give a fuck. The only thing that I care about is seeing Sakura's tears when she finds out that you are female." She said, "What the hell?" Then Naruto goes away. But then she got in front of him and said, "You seriously mean it?" He said, "Of course." And she said, "What the hell? You did mean that? What the hell is that supposed to be? What kind of trickery are you playing on me?" Naruto then looked at her like she is some sort of fucking idiot, and she said, "What the fuck are you? What the fuck are you drinking? Are you fucking drunk, pal? You already know that I don't fucking care. The only thing that I care about is to regain supreme." And then she said, "Alright, but that still doesn't explain anything." "What the fuck ever, pal. Just leave it alone." After this, he goes away, with the girls then coming at Sasuke and then asking him a bunch of questions like, "Where do you live? How much you do?" With him just saying, "Crap, I wish that he tells them. But then he said, none of my business, Uchiha. Tell them yourself. And then she said, fine, you idiot. And then she got out of the class. There's a top where Aruka and Mizuki were arguing. And also Mizuki is a good guy and does one shit. And she said, alright, I will tell you the truth. That this idiot didn't care about telling it. Naruto said, I already told you, I don't care. I don't fucking give a fuck. Live your normal life. The only thing that I want to see is Sakura's tears when she knows. And she just said, fuck you, now I will tell them. But before she could tell them her losing came before, because he was the one who did the seal on her, and he said, not yet, Sasuke. Right now, go with your Jonin senses. And Kakashi came with him because he had rumors about Naruto's extraordinary powers and abilities, and he wanted to see it himself. And then Sakura started jabbering about how they all look weak and stuff, with Naruto getting annoyed. And then he got up, and then he raised his hand up, and then a blue heart appeared before her, and then he moved his hand up and she wasn't there. And he said, I'm very fucking tired of you. He got her in the air, he got the window up, and then he grabbed her like a kitten and threw her the fuck out of the window. And then Shikamaru said, Naruto, you didn't just. Naruto said, Naruto just did it. After this, Hirozen and the other two Jonins were laughing at this thing. Well, Kakashi was actually laughing at it also. Was it also laughing at it with everyone in the fucking class laughing at it, except Aruka, who said, that's dangerous. What if she is in danger? Naruto said, don't worry about her. I think that's straight. I put a water of sharks. Aruka then got a massive head and said, sharks! He then looked out of the window, seeing crabbing swimming away to run away from sharks, and he said, Naruto, you idiot! He then got out his big head, his legendary big head jutsu, and then the sky darkened, the weather stopped, the sound stopped, and the devil himself prayed for the safety of the sharks. And then he yelled, you must get the fuck up. Can hell shut the fuck up, stop chasing my fucking thrill. Then go in the fucking air, stop my fucking hell, fucking gun, don't fucking do the fucking useless shit. After this, a moment of silence in the entire world. Screams were heard in the entire world. Every nation felt sorry for the kids and the Jonins and the Hokage who were in the class. Everyone was silent. There was no breathing. Even Fatal Air Gasta wasn't making his simples anymore. That is required for his life. And Naruto wasn't even able to say his usual puns. A fly was in the was in the fucking table and it didn't even make sound. The sharks, the sharks were completely still, not even making any jaw or anything. After this, they all came very proper. And then I said, what the fuck did this happen? What the fuck just happened? And then Suki said, I have no fucking idea. And that's what the end of the first fucking part. Good fucking bye.